Hi, my name is Neb Kamus Sen Atumbre. This is the 14th part of the Black History video for all of Babylon. There is always a heavy price to pay for disobedience. Neb Kamus Sen Atumbre was about to disclose some classified information of the ancient and mystic order of Melchizedek on an upcoming video. We were distinctively warned to remove that information from the lecture, and we did. However, 1 week later, ego got the best of us, and we were seduced into replacing that classified information back into the lecture. For this, we were justly served. All the first responders were commenting on how lucky Neb Kamus was for coming out of that crash practically unscathed. We skinned our left shin and our right knee. We had seat belt and airbags, trauma, whiplash, and a pinched lumbar nerve. Every muscle in our thoracic and pelvic area was hurting. That was not luck. That was divine protection and the supreme chastisement. At approximately 4:15 on the morning of Tuesday, 26th September 2017, on entering Interstate 20, heading west to Atlanta from Madison, Georgia, 2 miles west of Georgia 83, we heard a loud explosion as an overtaking vehicle came abreast. That long stretch of highway ahead was virtually deserted at that hour in the morning. This was our daily workday thoroughfare. And remember, each person's cell phone is their personal tracking device. On the point of impact, an intensely bright blue flash of light lit up the entire surroundings. More likely than not, actuated by the occupant in the attacking vehicle. It could have been by divine design, by mistake, or by a malfunction due to the impact, or Einstein, Mr. Dotard, was just flipping me the bird. You know, one of them Bruce Willis's Die Hard, yippee-ki-yay, got you mama jamma moves, thinking that there is no way anyone could survive this crash. Or, last but not least, extraterrestrial involvement. Whatever the case, maybe blue lights came on. That spot was the perfect location to execute a vehicular hit. The next thing we knew is that we were running out of control off of Interstate 20 at 70 miles an hour, airborne over a sheer 10-foot drop off. Then the bone-jarring crash landing which blew out the driver's side tire, rear tire. Then the frontal collision into a ditch, then into a tree. Holy Tablets, chapter 6, tablet 7, verse 131 states, in this life, every true Muslim and the cover of truth alike is guarded shadow hour and day by 4 inferior angelic beings. Why? They are called and greeted in peace. Salaamu Alaykum. Salaamu Alaykum. Not Alayka. Peace be upon you all. Not just you. These angelic beings are called HAFAZA. 4 their number. North, south, east, and west. Unquote. They provided a powerful force of protection which contained the brutality and devastating severity of this deadly crash. First responders were commenting on how lucky we were when the investigating officers showed us the tire marks from what appeared to be a pickup truck on the side of our white Toyota Corolla. That's when it was ascertained that we had been sideswiped in a hit and run. However, divine intervention prevented that little Toyota Corolla from being wrapped around the tree, exploding and catching on fire, or something terrible. Blue lights are known to be associated with law enforcement. However, blue lights have also been recorded to be associated with extraterrestrial involvement, close encounters, abductions, etc. Holy Tablets, chapter 6, tablet 9, verses 69 and 70 states, and the whole of the children of Rabboni Abraham this day are willing to be sacrificed, but none will die in that way. The very doors of heaven will open on the enemy. Unquote. That is both our answers there, right there, King Kong. So if your asset and his pickup truck have gone AWOL, they were both taken. That would also account for us seeing blue light and here the witness seeing no other vehicle. The Toyota Corolla was definitely impacted from the side. However, it crash landed safely at the bottom of that 10-foot sheer drop, then bounced back 4 feet off of that tree. A total wreck. It took a beating. The front and side airbags were all deployed. We asked the witness whether he had seen when that vehicle bumped us off the road. He said he saw us just as we veered off the interstate for no apparent reason and ran into a tree. So he stopped and called 911. He could not recall seeing any other vehicle leaving the scene. It was 4 a.m. So he had to have seen those bright blue lights. You see them for miles at night. When the investigating officers took measurements of the tire prints on the side of our vehicle, they concluded them to be from a pickup truck and not a tractor trailer, which ruled out the tractor trailer driver and his female companion, who stopped and called 911, made sure we were okay, and there was no one else trapped in the vehicle, then left before the first responders arrived. The ambulance took us to the Morgan Memorial Hospital, 1077 South Main Street, Madison, Georgia 30650, because all of the intercostal muscles of our rib cage were inflamed from the seat belt and or airbags and or crash landing. We were x-rayed and released and prescribed painkillers. There were no breaks or fractures detected. For you see, people, after some serious thought and unbiased introspection into this entire debacle, and after the ego had subsided, we had to conclude that we brought this upon ourselves. The warning was crystal clear, unmistakable. And here it is, Nebcamus Senatumbre was making light of the admonition in the first warning, which clearly stated, remove that classified information from your lecture. A lecture which had nothing to do with the fall of Babylon anyways. Drastic measures were then needed for Nebcamus to comply and refrain from making the serious mistake of uploading classified info on his next video. Because one of the things that you cannot take back is the spoken word. It goes reverberating throughout and around the universe. Mentally, we had been seduced into thinking everyone needed to have this valid information. So now, in pain, we finally surrendered and deleted that entire controversial video together with the previous one entitled Double Crossed, and deleted, which had an incorrect Arabic word and also falsified and exaggerated information on the type of weaponry carried by the Black Ops team who guarded the courthouse in Brunswick, Georgia, and also ancient Egyptian order information on it. The Black Ops team were packing grenade launchers, not rocket launchers and flamethrowers. Then there is the info from the ancient Egyptian order, which we all pledged never to reproduce, even if it is just one line, and we did. The Arabic word is amwatan, not atwatum. Now, mind you, this is something we would constantly repeat to our children. When you don't hear, you will feel. Nebcamus Senatumbre is now feeling it in his pockets, no vehicle, a total wreck, and in his pain. We were taught by the Anunnaki Elohim, Michael, you are either all right or you're not right at all. Holy Tablets chapter 7, tablet 9, entitled The Ego, speaks to us all on the lessons to be learned here. It states, Lo, Nuwabians, speaking, one of the schools which I, your master teacher, known as the Reformer, El Mujaddid, El Mukhlis, Yanun, Rabboni, Al Imam, and Melchizedek. I have many names for the many cloaks I wear. I must take you through is the school of the ego. Know ye that this is one of the hardest attributes to destroy. This is the attribute that is carried out mostly by the evil reptilian one, Samael, known as U.N.N.M or the devil, who is the son of Shachar and Mylita. Reject him and his attributes, and let him and his followers not into your hearts. For he and they would only lead you through the doors of misery. I bear witness. However, through the teachings of the ancient mystic order of Melchizedek, also called Ammon, A-M-O-M, you can learn to burn out the ego. Through the journey of these holy tablets, I will impart upon your minds the works of ego. The ego is the self-arrogating aspect of the mind. The ego is the greatest obstacle in obtaining peace, for it is that which occupies the mind with whether we are better or worse, possess more or less, and have greater or less power than others. The ego is attended by desire, pride, anger, delusion, greed, jealousy, lust, hatred, racism, and leadership. The ego is the most difficult aspect of the mind to control, for its nature is such that it deludes even when one is striving to overcome it. I bear witness. When the ego is subdued, energies can then be utilized constructively for personal growth and the service of others, unquote. Now, let us revisit El's Holy Injil, Revelation 18. And it states, and after that, I, John, son of Zebedee and Salome, saw another Anunnaki Elohim descending down from the Orion skies, and he had great authority, and the planet Earth was lit up with his brilliance because he brought the true light to the planet Earth. And he cried with a great voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen. The time has come now. The time has now come for the demise of Babylon, the fourth empire of the evil reptilian come to an end like all the others. And America has become the dwelling place of demons, a home for the physical malevolent beings. And the prison of every unclean, unholy demon and hated bird, taking the symbol of the eagle for the nature of a vulture, because it is powerful and kills. The eagle was not always the symbol of the seal of the United States. The original bird was the phoenix bird, which was used because it represented the new Roman Empire rising out of the old Roman Empire. Because all nations have drunk of the intoxicant of her punishment and her fornication, partaking in the delicacies of the harlot, living deliciously, they will taste the punishments of hell's fire. And the rulers of the planet Earth, who are the real red and black Arabs, who fornicated with her, and the businessmen of the planet Earth have all become very rich by way of luxuries. And I, John, son of Zebedee and Salome, heard another voice from the Orion sky saying, "Leave her, O my kindred, the family of Adam, Nubians, so that you don't become a binder of partners with her in her sins. Come out of Babylon, so you won't believe the evil reptilians' teachings that Jesus the Son, God the Father, and Gabriel the Holy Ghost, or in Egypt, Osiris, Isis, and Horus, or in Babylonia, in Anu, Iplil, and Ea, or in Greece, Zeus, Bathena, and Apollo, or in Zoroastrianism, Anu, Anahita, and Mithra, or in Buddhists, Buddha, Bahisat, and Gautama are one and the same. Don't become a polytheist, a person who believes in more than one God, by believing in three gods called the Trinity. People became polytheists through ignorance. For such a grief, there is a grievous chastisement and no forgiveness, so that all will not get her plagues, which consists of the many mentioned throughout the book of Revelation. There are two sets of plagues. The first are all announced by the blow of the trumpet. For her sins have piled up on each other, so that they reached right up to the Orion skies. And the Theos remembers her wrongdoing. Reward her like she rewarded you. The harlot will suffer the same treatment she inflicted upon the innocent and righteous souls, and gave her twice as much the likes of her own works in a glass, which is mixed with a mixture of her own sins. This is the same cup of fornication and abominations the harlot is described as holding in her hand in Revelation 17:4. New Babylon, America, is going to be taken care of the way she has taken care of the Nubians for all these years. The pain, the suffering, heartaches she has inflicted will return upon her. The time has come for Babylon to reap what she has sown, but she will receive it doublefold. Right now, she is pouring the cup of destruction from which she will drink. In her endeavor to destroy the Nubian race, her plan has backfired on her. She tried to kill us off with drugs, but didn't think that her own kids would be dying from overdoses also. She is losing her kids to evil worship and rock music, with the latest being the black man's heavy metal hip hop. Everything that they created to harm Nubians has turned around and began to attack them. She destroyed the ozone layer, poisoned the air and water, and has generally broken down the ecological makeup of the planet Earth, causing her people to be affected adversely by the sun. Amorites are literally dropping dead from overexposure to the sun's rays. Thus, by her hands, she is causing her own downfall. As she glorified herself with songs such as America the Beautiful, the Star-Spangled Banner, My Country This of Thee, and her pledge of allegiance, and lives luxuriously in comfort, as that gave her suffering and weeping. As much as the harlot glorifies herself living good in the lap of luxury, she is to receive that much suffering and torment. Because she says in her heart, as she truly believes it, surely I see the queen, which derived from the old English word queen, C-W-E-N-E, which means a woman prostitute. And I'm not a widow, revealing the fact that she did not inherit her wealth and status from a dead man, but she is simply a product of all the previous empires of the evil reptilian. And I am not going to experience any sadness. She truly believes she will never fall. The United States thinks itself to be invincible, but Theos will pass judgment on her and she will be destroyed. Just for that, the plagues will come in one day. The plagues will come all at once. The way the world is today, with all diseases, famines, pestilences, earthquakes, and wars, there will come death from many different circumstances. People will start to feel the serious side effects of the wraths of Theos in the form of many natural and unnatural diseases which will plague the earth. Death by war, death by disease, death by forces of nature as never seen before, and weeping and starvation. The people of America will cry from their misery, and some will die from the inadequate water supplies and food shortages, devastating effects of mass famine and droughts. And she will burn by a fire because Theos has power and he has judged or passed judgment on her. For the first time ever, a world war will be fought on America's soil. Nations of the world will fight a fierce war against her, bringing destruction never felt before in the shores of the USA. And they will be crying and weeping because of her, when those who have fornicated with her, with the harlot, and enjoy the luxuries afforded them because of their relationship with her, see her destruction, they will be exceedingly sad because they will see their own world go up in smoke. The rulers of the planet Earth who fornicated with her and enjoy the comforts of life when they see the smoke of the fire of her burning. They thought that America was indestructible and will be severely disappointed. And standing from far distances, because they are in terror of her torment, they will not come to her aid for fear that her punishment will befall them. That's exactly what happens quite frequently with America internationally, saying plague, plague is the great city Babylon, the city which had so much power. Just because of 1 hour has come your judgment. The end of New Babylon has finally come. In a half an hour, from 1970, 80, it has been on a course of eternal damnation to occur in the year 2080. And the businessmen of the planet Earth will cry and weep because of her. They will see their individual empires of wealth crumble right along with America. They will react in the same manner the merchants of Tyre did when that great city fell. Ezekiel 27 through 36, because of all their merchandise. No one will buy from them anymore. They will no longer have a great demand for their merchandise. When Babylon, America goes up in smoke, the businessmen, merchants will lose their most lucrative customer. The United States is one of the biggest importers of the world. By virtue of this, the economic destruction and the reaction of those who will witness it in horror. Just as Tyre fell, so will Babylon. The merchants of gold and of silver and precious stones and pearls and silks of purple and silks of red and all kinds of expensive woods and every pottery from ivory and every pottery of precious stones and brass and iron and marble. From this you can see that it is a very great city. Babylon is very wealthy. This list of imports and exports in this verse and in the next that this power control